Hi friends, it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. For today's video, I have my June sinking funds. My sinking funds have been a little bit of a mess. A lot of bit of a mess, actually. And so we're going to start fresh today. We're going to figure everything out. So if you're interested in coming along with me while I figure out my sinking funds for June, just keep on watching. So, my sinking funds, as I mentioned in the intro, have been a mess. We've been snitching money from our sinking funds to take care of things that were not what the sinking funds had been set aside for. We've been doing a ton of house projects and trying to make the ends meet by borrowing from other sinking funds and also by accumulating some debt. We're going to do a debt update in the next couple of days as well, so you'll see that. But ultimately, I pretty much emptied out the majority of my sinking funds and reallocated those funds for other things, trying to take care of these large purchases that we made without accumulating debt. We bought a generator, we bought a UTV, which we needed a down payment for. We have done some things that maybe weren't the most responsible, but also some things that we had to do. We've had to put new windows in our mobile home, and that all costs money. And so we were trying to, like I said, make the ends meet without accumulating a ton of debt, which meant borrowing from our sinking funds. And that's okay. But now it's time to like pay the piper and figure out exactly what we've got. So I have the stack of cash that was kind of left in our sinking funds in my little accordion folder where I had everything separated. And I have the cash here that we are going to add to our sinking funds, which for the month of June, we ended up with a total of $700 to add to sinking funds. So I'm going to kind of figure out how we're going to allocate this. We're starting pretty much from zero in all of my categories. Now, what does that mean? That means that there may be times in the future that we come up on things that we know are coming. That's what sinking funds are all about, right? Like setting money aside so that you're prepared when things come up. We may find that we don't have enough money in those funds to cover those things, and when that time comes, we'll either have to cash flow the rest from our monthly budget, or it'll mean accumulating debt. That's not ideal. That's not the ideal situation, but it's kind of the situation that we found ourselves in. So, just being real with you guys, I could have easily just sort of stopped filming sinking fund videos, stopped filming debt updates, and just pretended like everything was okay, but that's not who I am. I'm not in the business of lying to you guys. It's not been the best year for us, emotionally, financially, any of the above. So we're kind of trying to get back on track here with sinking funds, and we'll just kind of see how it goes. So I have my little Erin Condren notebook here where I've written down all of our categories that we've been using for sinking funds, and I have all of the cash. If I'm not mistaken, it's $1,700. So we had about $1,000 left in our various sinking funds, and then we're adding $700. So let me really quickly count this and make sure that is what we have. And then go from there. So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 750, 800, 850, 870, 890, 910, 930, 950, 970, 990, 1,000. We'll do it that way. 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20, 40, 60, 80, 2, 20, 40, 60, 80, 3, 20, 40, 60, 80, 4, 20, 40, 60, 80, 5, 20, 40, 60, 80, 6, 20, 40, 60. What did I do? Did I count wrong? Or did I misplace some money? Give me just a second. I'm gonna count this off camera and figure out what I did. I don't want to spend an hour in front of the camera trying to figure it out. So give me just a sec. Okay, so I figured it out. I had left 2 20s in my little accordion folder. So $1,700, $700 of which is coming from my monthly budget. These are all the categories. So I'm going to try to pare these categories down a little bit. Stick to just the basics, bare bones, and we'll go from there. So we have camping, car maintenance, celebrations, Christmas, clothing, fun, holidays, home insurance, home projects, hunting, medical, personal care, pets, school, and subscriptions. So the first thing I can take off is fun, because we've screwed up our budget, so we don't get to have fun, which is not true at all, but we're just kind of trying to pare this down. Camping, we need. If you're not familiar, we have a campground, or a camper that sits on a campsite at a campground that we pay for annually. It's about $1,300 a year. And actually, I said that and I'm going to immediately take it back and I'm going to round it up to $1,500 a year, just so that we can include electricity and that sort of thing. So we're going to aim for $1,500 a year, and that is due in November. Now, are we going to come up with $1,500 before November, plus all the money we need for these other categories? I don't know. I would love to be able to say yes. I just don't know if that's feasible. But we can always go to a month-to-month plan with our campground when November rolls around if we need to. Or we can put this money on a credit card. We have some options. So either way, we need to continue to save for our campground sinking fund. I just don't know if it's feasible with our current situation to put $1,500 aside before November with everything else we got going on. We'll have to see. For car maintenance, we had, I think, $300 in our car sinking fund. This is just kind of one of these funds that we don't have a set finish date. We also don't have a set amount we're trying to save for. This is just for car maintenance. So I don't have like an end date or a certain amount we're aiming for, though I do know that we want to get a hitch put on our car, and that's going to cost us about $300. So I'd like to have at least $300 in there. The only thing about this car that definitely has an end date is we need to be able to put updated registration on it in January, and that's a couple $100. So I guess I could include that. So by January, we need to have, say, $300. So that's our real only, like, goal. For celebrations, this is just for any birthday celebrations, that sort of thing. It's another one of these that doesn't have a set date or set amount, but again, in January, we've got birthdays coming up. In November, we have my birthday coming up, so I'd like to have, you know, at least $100 by November, and then another $300 by January. So, you know, keep that in mind. We want at least $400 by like the end of the year, but we got plenty of time to get there. Christmas. So my original goal was $1,200 for Christmas. We've got about 6 months before Christmas rolls around, so conceivably we need to put $200 a month into Christmas. Is that feasible with everything else we have going on? I don't know. Again, clothing. Okay, so we're going to take clothing out of the equation for now. I have plenty of clothes. Any clothes for Austin can come out of this school fund. My husband just bought a new wardrobe. So if I want to buy clothes, it's going to have to come out of my spending money. We're going to just take clothing right out. At the beginning of next year, we'll probably redo this and go back to having more categories. But right now, it's like we're in an emergency situation. We need to not be frivolously spending on clothes we don't need, okay? Same with fun. Holidays. I think, I don't know what I want to do with holidays. So we have Christmas, that's typically just for Christmas presents, Christmas decorations, Christmas dinner, that sort of thing. And then holidays is everything else. We don't spend as much on holidays. I don't know how much I want to have in there. We'll probably just set aside a little bit every month just so we have some built up, but I don't have like a set goal for that. Home insurance is $800, $800 to $900 in June of 2023. So we need, I'm going to say 800 by June of 2023. So we have plenty of time for that, but you know, the sooner we start saving, the less we have to save each month, right? Are you guys bored yet? Just kind of talking this out. Home projects. So we've already spent a ton of money on home projects. We still have more home projects we want to do. Honestly, I'm contemplating just putting our home projects on a credit card and working to pay them off as we go. I don't have any idea what I want to put aside for home projects. I don't know what we're going to continue to do. So I'm just going to take this out of the equation for now. That's going to bite me in the butt later, but that'll be future Jesse's problem. Hunting, we need to have by October, and we just need a couple $100s. So that's no problem. Medical is another one of these that's just, we need to set aside money, but we don't have like a set date or a set amount. Personal care, I'm going to start taking personal care items out of my grocery and household budget. Pets, I think we're going to take pets out of the equation as well for now, and also just take their food out of our household budget. If we have any vet visits or anything else, we'll either cash flow them, or we'll use our emergency fund, or we'll use a credit card. It's just where we're at right now. School, Austin's got back to school in September, but he also has all kinds of stuff coming up for soccer, which starts next month. So I want to start out with like $300 today and then continue to add from there. And subscriptions, this is another one of those. I need to sit down and figure out exactly what subscriptions we have that we pay by the year, what we want to keep, what we want to cancel. I'm just going to throw $100 in here right now, I think, and go from there. So that leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sinking funds. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, it's 10 with hunting. So that's what we're gonna go with. So we have camping, car, celebrations, Christmas. Now for Christmas, we also have decided that any of our credit card rewards is going to go towards Christmas. So we're not going to touch any of those credit card rewards from now until the end of the year. And we should have quite a bit saved up through there for Christmas shopping. So that will help. Holidays, home insurance, hunting, medical, school, and subscriptions. Okay, so this, in my monthly hybrid budget here, we need to account for that $700 from this month. That other $1,000 is from a previous month, so we're not counting on that right now. Right now, we're just going to work with the $700. So, I think it makes the most sense to prioritize the ones that are coming up. Like camping is coming up in November. School's coming up real quick. Yeah. Christmas obviously in December. So let me see here. let's actually come back to this and allocate the $1,000 first. Sorry, you guys, I know this video is all over the place. I honestly don't even know if I'm going to post this. If you're seeing it, then I guess I decided to, but all right, camping. We'll just write these funds out again. Okay, so we know we had $1,000 to work with. That's what we had. And I know that I want to put $300 into school. And I know that I want to put $100 into subscriptions. And I know that I want to put $300 into car. So that's $7. I'm going to put $100 into home insurance. And I think we're going to do $200 into camping. That's 10, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that's going to be our starting balance, and the rest of these are going to start at 0. I can always reallocate later if something comes up. As you see, I don't have any qualms in starting over and reallocating things. So our beginning balance then is $1,000. And we got to figure out what we want to add from June, that $700. So how we want to allocate that $700. So I think school, $300 is a good solid start for us. He does need new cleats and new shin guards and new running shoes. Hopefully that $300 will cover it. Those are the things that he has to have before soccer camp starts next week. So I'm not going to add anything from that $700. Am I making sense? I'm not going to add anything from that $700 for the month of June. We're just going to stick with the $300. For camping, let's see. We'll do another $200. Obviously, that is going to be a big expense. $1,500 by November, so we're really going to need to add as much money to that as possible. For car, I'm going to try to stick in increments of 20s, because I have mostly 20s just to make it easy. So we're going to do 60 into car. We'll do 20 into celebrations. We'll do 100 for Christmas. We'll do 20 into holidays. We'll do 100 into home insurance. How much is that? 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do 100 into school, or I'm sorry, into medical, and 100 into subscriptions. Does that equal 700? I did not plan this ahead, by the way. This is just random. 200 plus 60 plus 20 plus 100 plus 20 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100. That is 700. And let's just make sure this is 1,000. 200 plus 300 plus 100 plus 300 plus 100 is 1,000. So we're going to say that we didn't take anything out, since obviously June's over, right? So we didn't take anything out. I'll go back to tracking my transactions in July and be better about that. So that's going to give us a total of $400 in camping, $360 in the car fund. That's car maintenance and also car registration at the beginning of the year. $20 in celebrations, which is not much, but it's better than nothing. $100 in Christmas, which I'm not going to panic about because, like I said, we're going to use our credit card rewards. It's going to be fine. Holidays, it's going to have a total of 20. Home insurance is going to have 200. Medical is going to have 100. School is going to have 300. Really, this should just be Austin, right? Anything that Austin needs. I might change that in the future, but for now we're going to stick with school. And subscriptions is going to have 200. So that's what we're going to do. Now the only question is, do I want to keep it in cash and separate everything out in my little accordion folder here, or in another envelope type system, or do I want to just deposit it in the bank and go cashless with these? I'm in two minds about it, because a part of me thinks that having this cash on hand in an emergency situation would be a good idea. But the other part of me knows that it's so much easier to spend from these funds if I can just swipe a card and I don't have to go to the bank and pull out the cash and spend cash and all of that. So leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think I should do regarding this cash. If I should separate it out and do cashless envelopes, or if I should keep it in cash separate or as just one big envelope. I'd love to hear from you. Give me your feedback. But either way, we now have $1,700 in our sinking funds to start out July. Feel really good about that. That's, at least I know now what I have to work with and where I need to go from here. But yeah, let me know what you think about the cash situation. People really seem to like the cash envelope stuffing videos. That's another reason why I'm contemplating keeping it in cash and doing it that way, but I don't know if it's easier for me to do it cashless. I don't know. I have to decide. So leave me your feedback. In the meantime, I appreciate you watching this very rambly video. And I appreciate those of you who I know are going to say in the comments, like, don't stress about it. You're going to be just fine, regarding like starting over with my sinking funds and having less money than I should or thought I would. I appreciate your guys' support. Thanks so much, friends. I'll see you next time. Bye.